No matter what, I think we can all agree that Rwby's soundtracks have always been pretty top tier. The buzz and hype around Rwby soundtracks have always been a huge part of the fandom, and it's easy to see why. From the very first trailers, the sweeping scores by Jeff Williams with Casey's magical vocals elevated Monty's top tier fights even further. Today I want to celebrate my favorite songs from the soundtracks, volumes 1 through 9, the Rooster Teeth era of the show. As always, these are just my opinions, and yours might be different, and I'd love to see your own faves in the comments below. Okay, let's not waste any more time.
Because Vernal isn't the Spring Maiden. I am!
I suppose it's to be expected Rwby's notoriously worst volume would also end up having the worst soundtrack. The volume songs aren't horrible by any means, it just sort of sounds like the poor man's version of better songs from other soundtracks. Yeah, Ignite is a fun song, but it's not doing anything I Burn or Armed and Ready didn't already do, but better. Really, my favorite song from the list is actually the song that accompanies the opening of the volume, The Triumph.
Back to the fairy tale, back to the show, back to the wall, and there's nowhere to go.
It's a great, high-energy punch to kick off each episode for the volume, especially compared to Volume 4's much more languidly paced opening, Let's Just Live. The heavy guitars and Casey's more pronounced lyrics give the idea that the volume had more of an edge. Like, this is the part where things really kick off. If you've seen the volume, you know that's not actually very true, but hey, I can't fault the soundtrack for doing a better job than the actual show did with its themes.
Hopeless and desperate, all passive verse. Things looking bleak, and they're bound to get worse.
As a general with Jeff Williams' writing, the lyrics aren't very amazing. He tends to write very wordy, mouthy lyrics that's clearly a struggle for the vocalist to get out on time with the rhythm, whether it's Casey, himself, or what have you. Meaning there's definitely times where the lyrics feel a bit garbled, and you might not even be able to distinguish what's even being said without seeing the lyrics for yourself, or without listening to it multiple times.
Life's a forlorn, impossible odds. That's when you learn you've been messing with God.
The chorus really is the best part, and my favorite part of the opening's animations as well.
Can't wish away the dismal days, can't bring back what is gone.
I like how the lyrics are rather somber. The whole song has a very pained, almost defeated attitude about it, talking about things getting worse, impossible odds, things like that, but the tempo keeps so frantic, almost as if the instruments acts as the lyrics' own ambition to urge them forward, despite the dour circumstances shown in their words, culminating in the determination to declare that despite these impossible obstacles in their path, they will triumph, no matter what stands in their way. It's a very inspiring song. A lot of Rwby's soundtracks tends to hinge on the concept of hope, which I really appreciate. I will say though, the theme really starts to fall apart with the song's second verse.
This is the moment, this is the day, this is the place that we came here to slay.
We came here to slay. It's just not nearly as cool of a lyric as I think they thought it was.
I'm a girl, but I'm also a gun.
Yeah, I'm a girl, and I'm also a gun. Sure, why not? We have other soundtracks to cover, so I'm just gonna leave this here.
Isn't it obvious, girl? I had silver eyes.
Volume 6 has a ton of songs I absolutely love. Rising, the volume's opening theme song, is first to jump to mind. That synth board that leads into the verses has a sort of ethereal, magical quality to it.
Stay close, move fast.
I have to admit, I'm a fan of Big Metal Shoe. Yeah, the weird hodgepodge lyrics just sort of referencing nursery rhymes is probably their laziest attempt to tie in Rwby's fairy tale theme into the score, but I have to admit, I think it's fun and I rock out to it every single time I watch Cordovan's fight. Indomitable is emotionally powerful, perfectly capturing the moment when Rwby activates her silver eyes for the first time, and yes, it makes me cry every single time I hear it.
There's a light that shines.
Also, it's so impressive they found a way to rhyme the word indomitable for this song. It's not an easy one. But despite all of these standout songs, my favorite for the volume is actually Adam's swan song, Lion Eyes. The soft plucking harp leading into the heavy drums is an eerie, threatening way to set the mood for the song. It tells you right off the bat this song is different, building tension, mimicking Adam's mounting fury as a character. If you've seen my ranking Rwby openings video, you know I'm generally not a fan of Jeff Williams' singing voice. I find his singing sounds more like strained singing, and I usually don't like it. But here, I love it. It's why I like this song so much. It so perfectly encapsulates Adam's shattered mental state, his overpowering rage, his out-of-control emotions. The song itself leans into this rattled, out-of-touch idea with the strained, screaming vocals. Grandiose words pepper the song, like a man trying to paint himself as something equally grand. But once the chorus hits, things get frantic, angry, and the vocalist resorts to almost childish words to describe themselves as a hero. I feel like the song symbolizes Adam losing himself. The facade he's built that he's some grand mastermind is falling apart around him, but he's too proud, too stubborn, too ego-driven to acknowledge his descent. As a character study, this song is great.
Rwby, I'm not a real girl.
It's probably because Volume 2 is one of the oldest ones, but all of these songs just feel like such classics to me. Time to Say Goodbye works fantastically as the opening theme.
Now it's time to say goodbye.
A slightly more dramatic edge compared to the first volume's more adventurous sounding tone. Caffeine is amazing. The high-energy lyrics, the bombastic tempo, encapsulates the explosive finale of the volume, Team Coffee's crazy overpowered demeanor, and the idea of getting the jitters from strong caffeine as well. Shine very narrowly missed being my favorite from this volume.
It's just you and I are gonna show.
A good, boppy song to accompany Juniper's dance. However, the slightly more simplistic, juvenile lyrics and all-over-the-place tempo makes it feel like a pale comparison to my actual #1 song for Volume 2.
You might be my dream come true.
This might be controversial, but I think this is the best love song out of all of Rwby's soundtracks. Taking the perspective of Pyrrha, they really play around with making this her song. My favorite little moment is when she makes a snide comment about Weiss, and Weiss actually responds in the song.
Forget about the little chicken white, she don't care about you and she's so uptight.
Where Shine was generally stating an idea of being attracted to someone, Dream Come True takes a more interesting approach and makes it about Pyrrha lamenting Jean being attracted to Weiss instead of her.
Maybe I'm too tall or not your type.
Real talk, I wish Pyrrha was actually taller than Jean. I think that'd be super cute. The thing that keeps Volume 2 this low on my ranking, though, is that this song teeters dangerously between being sweet and empathetic,
I see more in you than the rest of them do.
and sounding a little bit obsessive.
I'll get you alone, make you my own.
I think it's just an unfortunate side effect of Jeff's usually clunky lyrics and rhymes, but you know what makes up for it? Hot damn, that chorus is so freaking catchy.
Whenever I think of you.
It's fun, boppy, danceable character study, one of Rwby's funnest songs hands down. It's criminal that this never actually made it into the show proper. It's just used as one of the end credits. It's so amazing, it deserved way better.
What's your favorite fairy tale?
Being the volume that introduced the new shift in Rwby's story and tone, this soundtrack was also the first time we really veered away from the general pop and soft rock vibes from Rwby's first few soundtracks. And that's how we got absolute bangers like Bad Luck Charm. I cannot understand these lyrics whatsoever, like at all. It might as well be in another language entirely, but dang it, that rhythm slaps. I mentioned Let's Just Live already. It's fine. I'll admit it got some catchy moments here or there. It's not amazing as far as this volume soundtrack goes, but it's at least worth mentioning. I also already mentioned Armed and Ready. A really cool power anthem for Yang, and it's funny that it's a pun, but for Volume 4, the best song on the soundtrack, hands down. I love this song. I love it so much. Oh my god. The slower, operatic opening, very reminiscent of the beginning of the White trailer, immediately took my breath away. Leading to a grand crescendo with that gut punch of the lyrics. And you think that's it. Another opera song for Weiss to talk about how cruddy her dad is, right? Wrong. Just like Weiss's own decision in the story to carve her own path and break free, Weiss's song gets to take the wheel and make a hard left into rock. An angry, heavy guitar riff cuts into the song suddenly as Weiss comes to realize she doesn't want to be a damsel in distress anymore. The tone shift symbolizes Weiss breaking free from that perfect painting she made out for herself to fit the Schnee name. She's not sitting around crying sadly, whining about how poor her pitiful life is anymore. She's taking matters into her own hands and taking action. It's not just the tone either. The lyrics spell it out for you. She goes from calling out pathetically to the mirror, like someone calling for help. Mirror, can you hear me? To describing how she destroyed that mirror because she's not going to let herself be held back anymore. Leading to the complete abandonment of that opera score that started the song, and the lyrics sound like a completely different woman compared to how we started. There's a part of me that's desperate for changes. Shame that it took so long to rescue me. The song is a character arc in and of itself. And then my all-time favorite part. Cutting out the instruments to really give her words, "I'm not your pet," huge emphasis. It really highlights Weiss breaking free of her self-imposed prison. This song, in universe, was the one her father forced her to sing to help make himself look better. So if we look at it this way, the music is a part of Weiss's entrapment by her dad, and the change in instruments, tempo, and even cutting it out entirely is showing Weiss's departure from her father's abuse. Volume 4's soundtrack is generally fine, but this song really elevates the whole thing.
James, to my friends call me. To you, it's General.
A lot of songs on Volume 7 soundtrack were amazing. I'll be honest, it's hard narrowing down my favorite among them. Touch the Sky, a hopeful, inspiring, uplifting little bop. It's been a long time since I felt this way. On that note, Celebrate? Bringing on a new vocalist and doing some really cool new funky style. This could totally just be on the radio. From that same scene, Let's Get Real. Baby, let's get real. Tell me what's the deal. A unique song that tackles Ren and Nora fighting, like an anti-love song. Like, it's not that they don't like each other, the opposite. They're trying to make it work. It's really unique and you don't hear this a lot. War? That one's crazy. A bunch of vocalists making the Aesop's fight feel way bigger than it really is. While we're talking about guest vocalist, Hero has to be addressed. Very nearly was my #1 pick for the volume. I usually prefer heavier songs, or songs you can dance to, and Hero absolutely crushes it. But surprisingly, one song on this volume has really stuck with me, and it's nothing like what I usually prefer.
I promise I'll be here until the end.
Until the End is so slow and poignant. It revels in the pain and hurt that encapsulates the finale of the volume. It's like the antithesis to Indomitable. When I think of Volume 7, this is the first thing I think about.
Try so hard, but what are we fighting for?
I've seen people call Rwby hopecore. This song alone seems to spit in the face of that concept. Like, listen to this.
Pain always finds a way to stay.
Oh, it hurts. This song plays with my heartstrings like it's a guitar and just sticks with me. It haunts me, like how Salem haunts the heroes with her constant threatening force. And what hurts is the lyrics that sound like they're desperately trying to stay positive.
Love brings us joy.
And then they're always followed by lyrics that remind you of the hell we're in.
Grief makes the heart burst at the seams.
Like, they can't keep pretending everything's going to just be okay. In fact, everything is really bad, and they're stuck in the middle of this storm. Like, look at all the other songs I mentioned. Big party anthems, funky jams, rock vibes, and it all culminates into the sound of a painful promise.
I promise I'll be here until the end.
Volume 7 deserves so much more credit.
I could have warned you against such a miserable idea. Oh wait, I did!
While the volume itself was a huge step backwards in quality, it seems like the soundtrack was going forward to bigger and better things. This new style we introduced with Volume 7 carries into Volume 8, and we get bangers like For Every Life, This was firmly stuck in my head. It's incredible how catchy it is. No wonder it's the opening song. Be Strong and Hit Stuff placed super weirdly in the volume during the scene where all the heroes jumped Ironwood for his lunch money.
It's okay. In time you will grow.
But also, it's so catchy, and real talk, it's nice finally getting a Nora song that isn't about how much she's super in love with Ren. Thank you, finally. I have to mention The Truth.
That your life is of no use, and the truth is that no one's ever loved you.
It's so good. The lyrics, while as usual a little clunky, work really well with the frantic, turbulent abuse Cinder suffered while at the Glass Unicorn, and a sad Cinder backstory song would have been amazing. Too bad the song is literally only like 49 seconds long, which is so dumb. However, I did get my big Cinder backstory song, but rather than being sad, this one was kick-ass.
No time to die. Now I'm awake.
How could this not be my #1 pick for the volume? Okay Goodnight approaches the song so much differently than Jeff Williams' usual affair across the previous 7 volumes, and maybe it's that refreshing change of pace that makes this song go so hard. They use such different instruments in such different ways. It really does add to the idea of Cinder's twisted backstory. Unfortunately, I'm not 100% sure the song was made with Cinder's backstory in mind, but still, for the sake of this video, I will go in with that mindset that it was.
Silence fuels the deadly cry.
Honestly, it's criminal that the fight scene this song is layered over is so short. More of this song in the show would have been a huge bonus. The best part though is the lyrics. I've been very vocal about how Jeff's lyrics tend to be weird with weird rhymes. It feels like he's stretching to make a rhyme happen, and it leads to sort of clunky, wordy lines. I really like OK Goodnight. Volume 8 was a weird volume, and it had an admittedly weird soundtrack, but we got this masterpiece out of it. So it's not all bad. So now, let's barrel into the top 3.
I want to be a huntress.
Again, it's been so long. I feel pretty nostalgic for all of these songs. They're classics in the Rwby community, and I wouldn't be surprised if people found making it only number 3 as being blasphemous. And I'll be honest, this volume has the most songs on it that are honorable mentions. I May Fall, weird that we had to wait for volume 3 to get the song in the show, but it's still amazing. A powerful warrior anthem. Gold. A surprisingly heartfelt song that a lot of people have interpreted in a lot of different ways. Yang talking to Rwby, or Tai talking to both his daughters, etc, etc. I guess it goes to show how deep these lyrics cut if people can resonate with them in so many different ways. This will be the day, obviously. I'm certain it's just the nostalgia, but hot dang, I can't say no to this one. Red Like Roses Part 2, a perfect cherry on top of the phenomenal Emerald Forest arc. And of course, the trailer songs. I Burn is really cool how it takes elements from the prior 3 songs and remixes them while giving Yang a distinct bombastic climactic finish. From Shadows is a cool techno-rock direction that we hadn't seen before with the other 2 prior trailers. Also, my favorite part is the fact that the robot's warning is in the actual song.
Intruder, identify yourself.
The first time I listened to the soundtrack on its own, I was driving, and this part scared the shit out of me. But the best song of the volume, hands down, there was never any other questions of what it could be. I watched the Red trailer over and over again, easily over 100 times before the show even started. This song is ingrained into my soul, and there's so few lyrics, beautiful yet powerful imagery that introduces the idea of what our 4 girls will be through poetry. It's amazing. I can't think of anything else like it. But it's the rest of the song. Those spicy Spanish-like guitars. Obviously, the amazing visuals adds to the hype of the song, especially when things go into maximum overdrive towards the end. But the song still hits so hard just on its own. It's iconic and classic and beautiful and perfectly captures the soul of Rwby. There's no way I could have picked any other Volume 1 song over this masterpiece.
And I can't wait to watch you burn.
Volume 3, uniquely, is one where I actually don't like most of the songs on its soundtrack, but what it lacks in quantity, it definitely makes up for in quality. Jeff's just got some good grip on cute love songs, right? This one's not amazing, but I can't deny that it gets stuck in my head. Man, I really like this song. Also, it's criminal that it's the only song for Mercury and Emerald. I'd love a I'm the One Part 2, especially now that Emerald switched sides. I just adore this rhythm, this melody, all of it. Admittedly, the lyrics are damn near impossible to understand during the verses. Let's not kid ourselves though, it's the chorus that's the real star of the show. Also, when you do look up the lyrics, it's pretty rad. But this is not my favorite song of the volume. For a very, very, very long time, this next song was my all-time favorite song from Rwby soundtrack. Perhaps unsurprisingly, this song is the best of Volume 3. I think most people would agree that this one at least is super creative compared to most of Rwby's songs, and it's a mega fun and memorable addition to the iconic Funky Fight, perfectly utilizing Flint's trumpet-inspired jazz and Neon's dance club techno. I used to listen to the song on repeat, and can you blame me? The awesome beat is one thing, but those 10 out of 10 lyrics make the song so above and beyond. Capturing Team Funky's tactic of shit-talking their opponent, the whole song is witty, fun zingers. I wish other volumes had the courage to make a totally random song about 2 extra side characters, just for the sake of making a memorable, catchy jam like this one. I think what I love most about it is it helps to make the world and the soundtracks feel bigger than the parameters of just Rwby's story. But, like I said, it was my favorite for a long time, but it's not anymore. I had to sit with this decision for a long while before I finally accepted that my fave had been beaten. And what a surprise, OK Goodnight was the reason for it.
I love you. Just the way you are.
Volume 9's soundtrack sounds so different than all of Rwby's other scores. That's because Jeff stepped aside and OK Goodnight took over. And like I was saying with Awake, they just have a different style, and I love it. Volume 9's soundtrack might be the best part of the whole volume. Where do I even begin? Checkmate's super cool jazz to accompany the chess fight? A super creative decision that makes this fight even more memorable thanks to the unique music style. Trapdoor's beautifully haunting undertones. Perfectly playing with the idea of Rwby's breakdown with the Jabberwockers fighting the Paper Pleaser's Acre. Inside, the opening. The manic xylophone, think it's a xylophone, at least? I'm bad with recognizing instruments. Adds to the crazy lost themes of the song and the volume. I've heard people say the song sounds like it's too much, but that's the point. It's supposed to be overwhelming. That's what the girls are going through in the Ever After. My personal favorite part is this quiet breakdown in the middle, where you hear what sounds like an exchange of various thoughts from the Rwby girls. I love this part. I don't even know if it's supposed to be multiple people arguing or just Rwby's inner thoughts storming inside of her, but it's so interesting and I can't get over it. But without a doubt, my new all-time favorite song from Rwby, I present to you Chatterbox. This is one of the best songs I've ever heard. I freaking love everything about the song. Okay, the way it opens. I'm already hooked. I don't even know what to tell you. Also, this song is definitely about the cat. Chatterbox, the cat kept asking questions. It's a villain song. It's a cool-ass villain song, and it's the best villain song, and I love villains so much. The opening is this big, heavy guitar riff just to suddenly cut out to this soft, almost mournful style for the verse. It feels like it's meant to match the cat's cunning. No matter how angry or flustered they may be, they still need to calmly and coolly play Team Rwby for as long as possible. What's really fun though is the song isn't from the cat's perspective. It's presumably from Rwby's, although I guess it would work for any of the main heroes. It's a song about them realizing in hindsight how the cat was manipulating them. just for it all to cut out at a moment of breaking. The cat can't contain their anger anymore, can't keep playing this facade. That's when all of the pent-up power comes crashing back, and then that amazing guitar solo. Real talk, I'm not usually a fan of guitar solos. I usually find them very boring and overdone, but this reached through my headphones and ripped out my soul. It's so gorgeously done, perfectly combining that heavy anger feeling with that quiet, mournful feeling. Amazing lyrics to define the cat's sudden color changing during the final episodes too. Also, Symphony of Technicolor Rage is the most badass lyric I've ever heard. That's like god tier poetry. And of course, that chorus. An amazing line, pleading for the cat to stop its nonsensical riddles, its wordplay, its coy style of talking around topics. Just say something real. Beautiful phrasing to display the fed-up frustration of this sentiment. And the cherry on top of the whole song, Casey's final scream. Oh my god, it's amazing. How could this not be my favorite song from all of Rwby? It's like they made it for me, specifically. It has everything I love. But this is all just my opinions. And I understand yours will probably be different than mine. There's so many amazing songs in Rwby after all, so please, go ahead and share your thoughts and your favorites. I'd love to see them in the comments below. Shout out to my $10 patrons, you're all amazing. Andrew, Valhalla Knight, Chamomile, Classy Critic, Noah Perkins, Sunny Shy, Genital War Thunder, Jake, Amber, Hype Man, Isaiah, Scaring Crows, Not All That Evil, Messiah Complex, Jacob, Ben's Sketchbook, Rain, Omega Fighter, Trash, Wild Pilot, Josh, Twisty, Juan, Bunkin Duncan, Lycan99, Hoodie Angel, Ranger, Hutmut Butt, Cloudy Days, The Enigma, C1 Trooper, Sean, and Primo Rune. I hope you liked this video. I hope you had fun with this one. This one was great. Man, I love listening to good music. Like I said, I would love to see your thoughts. Do you agree or disagree with any of my faves? Tell me your faves. What volume do you think is your favorite soundtrack and why? Any thoughts? I'd love to see them. It's such a fun topic, you know? And let's jam out to some cool Rwby music, right? They're the best. So yeah, leave your thoughts in the comments below. I'd really love to see. And let's be respectful to each other. Opinions can get pretty heated, but, you know, music's a very subjective topic. Let's just enjoy Rwby together. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.